Hello, today we're going to do another alphabet craft from the Artica website. We have lots of alphabet crafts to choose from, but today I'm going to do the letter K. Now, do you know what sound the letter K makes? It does. It makes the k, kicking sound. There are two crafts that we can choose from. We have the little k, which is a kangaroo and its little Joey, or we can do the big letter K, which is a kite. Now, I love flying kites at the beach, so I'm going to do the big letter K today. So I've started my craft already to save us some time. So I have already gone and cut out the kite, which is the second and third page of your craft activity. So you can do the same. So you can cut the big piece and then stick the second piece of the kite on top of the first piece and then go on to stick your three little bows. Now, I have one final step that I need to do, which is to cut the K and stick that on top of my kite. So let's get started. So I'm going to take my scissors very responsibly and I'm going to cut all around the big letter K. And you can do the same. Now, there are lots of ways we can learn the alphabet. We can use my flashcards, which I use, or we can sing alphabet songs. And one of the most fun things I like to do to remember my letters of the alphabet is doing my letter crafts. And that's what I'm doing today. So I've nearly finished cutting out my letter K. Whereabouts are you in your craft activity? One final step. And here we go. There is my letter K. And I'm going to put my craft aside so I can have a look when I have to do my painting or coloring to what colors I'm going to use. But you don't have to use the same colors as the craft. You can choose any colors you want your kite to be. So I'm going to take my little glue stick and I'm going to turn my K to the back and I'm just going to rub my glue all around my letter K. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to stick the letter K right on top of my craft. Now you can do the same. Once you've finished doing the cutting and then the gluing, we can start the fun part, which is the craft. So you can either use your paints or your coloring pencils, or if you've got crayons or textures, or you can even use different materials like papers or felt or anything that you have at home. I'm going to use my paints today. So I have already gone and chosen the colors I'm going to use. Now I'm sticking to the colors of my kite on the craft activity, but you don't have to do that. You can choose whichever colors you like for your kite. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little brush and I'm going to paint the outside of my kite yellow. So I'm going to go around and carefully paint my border. Now I've chosen the color yellow because I like to stick to the craft colors. But again, you can choose whichever color you like. You can choose purple, or you can choose pink, or you can choose blue so that it matches the sky when it goes up into the air. Just dip my paint brush into the water because it's a little bit dry. And I'm just going to finish off the border of my kite. Okay, let me show you my first step. Done. There we go. I've done my border. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the inside triangles of my kite. So the two colors I'm going to choose, which is the two colors on my piece of paper, is the blue and the green. Again, I'm just going to take a little bit of a thicker paintbrush and I'm going to paint around. And I'm going to paint the other side. Now, can you think of other words that start with the big K or the little K? So we have kite, which is what our craft activity is. We also have kangaroo, which is an animal. Now, can you think of any other words that start with the letter K? Sometimes it gets a little bit tricky because we also have the letter C that makes the K sound. So we have to be careful and we have to remember the words that start with K and not C. Now let me give you a little clue. It's a room in your house and it's often where your whole family gathers in the morning and at lunch and in the evenings. And it's where you do lots and lots of cooking. Now, can you think of the word that starts with K that has those clues? Yes, the word is kitchen, and that starts with the letter K. And I have just about finished my first part of my triangles for my kite. And now I'm going to finish off doing the other side. Oops, I missed one little spot at the top of my kite. So I'm just going to quickly finish that off. And then I'm going to start the blue. Now, can you think of another word that starts with the letter K? And let me give you another clue. You often use your foot to do this, and you often do this with a ball. So your foot and the ball comes together to do what? Kick. That's right. So the word kick also starts with the letter K. And there are lots of words like that that start with the letter K. Now I can think of another word, And we often try to be this quality. Can you think of a quality that we often try to be to others? Yes, that's right. We try to be kind, and we often do that in many ways, like helping or greeting people or giving your friends and your family big hugs. It's us trying to be kind. Now I have one last little triangle to finish in my kite. How are you going with your kite? Are you nearly done? Are you at the same spot as me? Let's have a look. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm done. So let me see your craft and you can see mine. There we go. I've done the back of my kite. Now the last thing that I need to do is my letter K. And I'm going to use the color red because that is what is on my craft. But like I said, you can choose whichever color you would like. So dipping my brush in the color red, and I'm just going to finish off the last little bit of my kite. Are you having fun doing this craft with me? I'm having lots of fun. I love doing crafts. It helps me learn and remember all the letters of my alphabet. And being careful around the edges so I don't color into my blue and my green. And carefully going down very gently. But again, if you go over the edge into the other parts of your kite, that's okay. It's all about having fun and enjoying this activity. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be your craft kite. Now, I have finished my kite today and I think it looks fabulous. Do you like your kite? I think yours looks beautiful. Now we have the last little step of our craft today, which is to finish off our 3 bows and the string. Now you can use an actual string at the bottom of your kite, but I don't have that today, and that's okay. We use what we have and we make it wonderful. So I'm going to finish off my 3 bows in 3 different colors of my kite, or you can use 3 other colors. It's completely fine. And then we're going to use the yellow to finish off the final bit of our craft. So we'll start off with the red, which is the first one on my craft. And again, it's a little bit finicky, but it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're having fun. And the next one is blue. So I'm just going to dip my paintbrush in the letter, in the blue, in the color blue, and do my second little bow. I think my kite's going to be so wonderful when it goes up into the air and is flying at the beach. Now my final bow is going to be green. and I'm done. And I'm going to take my really thin paintbrush. I'm going to take a little bit more yellow because I've actually run out doing my border. And I'm going to use that to finish off my string. So I'm going to go from the bottom of my kite and paint from one bow to another. And then at the bottom of my red, taking it across to my blue. And from my blue, I'm going to take it across to my green. And from my green, I'm going to let it finish off. And I have done my craft. And how have you finished yours today? Mine looks like this. And if you would like, you can actually take a pair of scissors and cut around your craft. So you just have your kite on its own. I've had a wonderful time doing this craft with you, and I've learned so many things today. I've learned how to cut very carefully around the lines, and I've learned how to use my glue stick and glue each of the pieces of my craft together like in the picture. I've also learned the sound of the letter K, which is the k sound, and I've learned new words that start with the letter K, like kangaroo and my kite, and also kitchen, and how it's so important that we are kind to each other.